The Fire in the Night. A true story of escape, justice, and the price of cruelty. July 14, 1976. Bastille Day. France is celebrating. Fireworks light the sky. Music echoes through village streets. Families drink wine and dance in the warm summer night. But on the edge of a dark forest in the quiet village of Treves, an old man sits alone in a wooden house, gripping a rifle in trembling hands. He is 61 years old. Gray hair. Cold eyes. A scar on his face that never faded. He knows they are coming. For weeks, the letters have warned him. Leave before midnight, or you will die. He sent his wife away. He refused to run. At 1 a.m., the silence explodes. Glass shatters. Fire rains from the sky. Gunshots echo through the trees. The house burns. By morning, only ashes remain. And inside the ruins, police find a burned body still clutching a rifle. But the man who died that night was not who the villagers thought he was. His name was not Rainer Buschmann. His real name was Joachim Peiper, commander of Hitler's most brutal SS unit, the man responsible for one of the worst American war massacres of World War II. For 30 years, he escaped justice. Until the ghosts finally found him. Before we begin, let me ask you something real. Do you believe a man who committed war crimes and escaped prison deserves to live peacefully, or does history always demand a price? Write your honest answer in the comments. There is no right or wrong. Only truth. Now let me tell you how this story truly began. The Golden Boy of the SS. In Nazi Germany, power did not belong to the kind. It did not belong to the merciful. It belonged to the ruthless. And Joachim Peiper was built for cruelty. Born in 1915, Peiper grew up in a nation drowning in propaganda. Germany was broken after World War I, humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles, starving for pride. The Nazi Party offered young men a promise: strength, honor, power. Peiper believed in it completely. He was tall, handsome, intelligent, fluent in English. He had the face of a movie star and the heart of a fanatic. By his early 20s, he had already caught the attention of Heinrich Himmler, the head of the SS. Peiper became Himmler's personal adjutant, his right-hand man. This placed Peiper at the center of Nazi power. He sat in meetings where the Holocaust was discussed. He read classified documents about extermination camps. He knew exactly what was happening. But Peiper wanted more. He did not want to sit behind a desk. He wanted blood. He wanted command. He wanted glory. So he requested a transfer to the front lines. Himmler granted it. And that decision would stain history forever. The Blowtorch Battalion. Peiper was given command of an SS Panzer unit on the Eastern Front. This was the most brutal battlefield of the war. No mercy. No prisoners. No rules. In Russia, Peiper's unit earned a nickname whispered in terror by villagers. The Blowtorch Battalion. They did not simply occupy towns. They erased them. If resistance was suspected, Peiper ordered entire villages burned. Flamethrowers were used on houses with families still inside. Children. Women. Elderly. All reduced to ash. His orders were simple. We do not care for civilians. We are here to conquer. Witnesses later described Peiper as calm while villages burned. He watched. He smoked. He gave no emotion. To his men, he was a hero. To his victims, he was the devil. Hitler's favorite weapon. By 1944, Peiper was a legend in Nazi Germany. Hitler personally awarded him the Knight's Cross with oak leaves and swords, one of the highest military honors in the Reich. To German propaganda, Peiper was the perfect soldier. Young, brave, fearless. But to the Allies, he was already known as something else. A war criminal. And when Hitler launched his last desperate gamble, the Battle of the Bulge, he chose Peiper to lead the spearhead. Because Peiper did not hesitate. He did not slow down. And he did not care who died in his path. The Malmedy Massacre. December 1944. Germany is losing the war. Allied armies are pushing toward Berlin. Hitler is desperate. So he launches a final offensive through the forests of Belgium. The goal is simple. Break the Allied lines. Reach the sea. Force a peace deal. And the tip of the spear is Joachim Peiper. He is given Germany's newest tanks, massive King Tigers. He is ordered to move fast. No delays. No prisoners. On December 17, Peiper's column reaches a crossroads near the town of Malmedy. There, they encounter a convoy of American trucks. The Americans are lightly armed. They are outnumbered. They surrender. Over 100 U.S. soldiers stand in a snowy field with their hands raised. They believe they will be taken prisoner. They are wrong. Peiper arrives at the scene. He looks at the prisoners. He looks at his watch. They are slowing him down. He says nothing. He simply turns away. But his men understand. Machine guns open fire. 84 Americans fall into the snow. Some are wounded. Some are still breathing. SS soldiers walk among them, shooting survivors in the head. Witnesses later said they laughed. The snow turns red. This moment becomes known as the Malmedy Massacre. A war changed forever. Word spreads quickly through Allied lines. Remember Malmedy. American soldiers stop taking SS prisoners. The war becomes even more brutal. But Peiper does not care. He continues fighting until Germany collapses. In 1945, as Berlin falls, Peiper tries to escape. He is captured by American forces. They do not shoot him. They want something better. They want a trial. The trial of Joachim Peiper. In 1946, Peiper sits in a courtroom. He is 31 years old. Calm. Cold. Arrogant. Survivors of Malmedy testify. They point at him. That is the man. Evidence is overwhelming. The verdict is clear. Guilty. Sentence, death by hanging. Peiper is sent to Landsberg prison. He is measured for a coffin. He waits for the noose. Justice seems inevitable. But then politics intervenes. How a war criminal walked free. The Cold War begins. America needs West Germany as an ally against the Soviet Union. German politicians protest the war crimes trials. They claim unfair interrogations. They demand leniency. A U.S. Senator, Joseph McCarthy, takes Peiper's side. He argues Peiper was just a soldier following orders. The U.S. government backs down. Peiper's death sentence is reduced. Death becomes life. Life becomes 35 years. 35 becomes time served. In 1956, after just 11 years in prison, Joachim Peiper walks free. 84 Americans died. 11 years was all he served. The fire of karma. Germany no longer welcomes Peiper. The new generation is ashamed of the Nazis. He tries to work at Porsche. Workers refuse. We will not build cars for the butcher of Malmedy. Volkswagen fires him. Death threats arrive. So Peiper disappears. He moves to France. He changes his name to Rainer Buschmann. He builds a house near the forest in the village of Treves. For 16 years, he lives quietly. He walks his dogs. He grows old. He believes the world has forgotten. But history never forgets. In 1976, a French historian recognizes him. The newspapers expose him. Protests surround his home. Threats arrive. Leave France or die. Peiper refuses. He sends his wife away. He waits with a rifle. The Night of Reckoning. July 13, 1976. The village celebrates Bastille Day. Fireworks explode in the sky. At 1 a.m., masked men cut his phone lines. They surround the house. Peiper fires. They respond with Molotov cocktails. Fire engulfs the wooden walls. Smoke fills the rooms. Peiper retreats into his study. He lies on the floor, clutching his rifle. And just like the villagers he burned in Russia, he suffocates. Then burns. By morning, only ashes remain. His body is found, curled in the ruins. Still holding his gun. The end of the blowtorch. Police never identify the attackers. The case is closed. But the veterans of Malmedy feel something else. Closure. One American survivor said. He ordered us shot in the snow. He burned villages. It is only fitting he died in a fire. Joachim Peiper lived by the torch. And in the end, the torch consumed him. So now I ask you again. Was this justice, or was it murder? Should his attackers have been arrested, or did they do what history could not? Tell me your honest thoughts in the comments. And remember, you can escape the law. You can change your name. You can hide in the woods. But you can never escape history. And you can never outrun the consequences of cruelty.